Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I haven't done a video about the Atari 2600 in a while, and given how much I really love this machine, I just thought, well, I better do something about that because I've always loved the Atari. I talk about it all the time, and I haven't given it much love lately. So, wanted to talk about a game that I really enjoyed. This is Defender. This is the 2600 version. And it's kind of interesting to me because I played Defender back in the arcade, and I found it good, but of course, like everybody, supremely challenging. I mean, almost impossible to play. And then when I got the 2600 version, I thought, well, I'll give this a whirl, but maybe since I'll have it at home, I'll have some chance to, better kill that guy, have a chance to practice and get better at the coin-op version. Not realizing that this 2600 version is a heck of a lot different. Now, it's still the same basic premise of the game, but it's actually playable. I mean, the coin-op version from Eugene Jarvis is famous for being almost impossible to survive. I mean, it's super hard. Get rid of that guy. Super hard. This one is just actually playable. Now, what's the objective? Well, you shoot the aliens that are taking the people away, rescue the people, and put them back on the planet. Like so. Dead simple. Yeah, no, this was a game that I really liked. Oh dear, I died. This was a game I really liked because, as I say, I could actually survive it, and I just found it was such a great relief to be able to get through more than 17 seconds of Defender. Now, it's a much simpler game. It's not the same as the coin-op version. The concept is the same. The aliens come down, they pick up the people. You want to kill them and not get killed, and survive each wave of bad guys as they come. If they do manage to get the humans up to the top of the screen, you saw earlier I was shooting those little red guys. That's the mutant that the citizens turn into if the aliens succeed. But yeah, this is so much more enjoyable than the coin-op version, and it's maybe sacrilege to say that because I know a lot of people really like the coin-op version. It's sort of considered a timeless classic, one of the best arcade games ever made. So why would I say the 2600 version is better? It's not really better, but it's a lot more fun to play. I remember thinking to myself, I put a quarter into the coin-op version of Defender, and it's a very intimidating control panel. Anybody who's seen that machine, it's like 7 buttons. It's ridiculous in how complicated it is. Whereas this one, survived level 1. This one you can actually get through. You know, you've got just the joystick, which is great. You're just moving left and right. You can turn around and shoot people with the button. Really nice rendition of Defender, and actually something that's completable. Oh dear, he turned into a mutant. All right, let's go get him. It's got a really great response time to it as well. I mean, you can't just flip left and right super easy. There's a bit of a delay, and that's good. You have to use a bit of strategy there. I like the fact that there's a bit of variety in the aliens. You know, you don't just have these UFOs. All right, well, let's start another game because I also want to show you this little square guy who leaves that little trail of bombs behind him. That's another interesting enemy to take on. So you've got him, you've got these star shapes, you've got these little clusters they turn into if you hit them, in addition to our UFO bad guys. So I really like that you've got a variety here. I mean, it's a good rendition of Defender. Also, the landscape scrolls back and forth nicely. Now, it's a 2600 game, so clearly you can't have the much more angular effect of the kind of canyon effect that you had in the original game. But for a 2600 conversion of the coin-op, this has always been one of my favorites. I really like it. Now, some people think that the fact that I guess it's another limitation of the 2600 hardware. If you hit the laser really fast, very rapidly, you kind of disappear. All right, let that guy drop. Watch my ship. Like if I just hit the button a lot of times, I'm actually practically vanishing off the screen. And if I hit it often enough, no buttons can actually hurt me. Oh, let's go grab that guy. Oh, lost that one. Oh well. Yeah, so some people were not too thrilled about that. Let's see if I can rescue him. Yes, success. Yeah, I don't know what killed me there, but anyway. I also like the challenge ramps up nicely. You know, you've got a. This is not a simple game that you can just breeze through. Look at that! I died again. Yeah, it's a really great version, and I remember asking around, like, what do you guys think? Is 2600 Defender considered, like, considering how much people love the coin-op, is this a terrible hack job, or what do people think? And enough people share my enthusiasm for it. A lot of people say, yeah, it's a really nice version of the game. It's a really nice 2600 game. In fact, it's so popular or so successful in the popular consciousness, they actually turned this into a stamp, if you can believe it. There is a an image of the 2600 screen that made it as a stamp, which is kind of interesting. Ooh, we're into the red zone now. I think it's going to start ramping up the challenge even more. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about, first of all, a 2600 game. Haven't done those in a while. Love the Defender conversion here. I think they really did a great job. It's got a nice challenge to it. Okay, sure. Oh, he's turned into a bad guy. Okay, sure. If you hit your, if you just keep hitting the fire button, nothing can actually hurt you. That's a little bit of a weak gameplay limitation, you know, but it works. I died. Oh, and one last thing I should mention. How do you do smart bombs? Because there's only the one button. Apparently, if you go behind the cityscape here, and then hit your button, there you go. That's the smart bomb. It did take out everybody there. Oh, darn. Speaking of being taken out, here comes another one of those mutants. See if I can get him. And those flying saucers are pretty nasty, too. Yeah, there you go. Defender on the 2600. I've always really, really liked this game, and I just wanted to talk about a 2600 game that I haven't talked about for a while. Alright, that's it. Until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.